Well, hello, I'm David Gregory, and I'm the president of IndyLug, and I'm one of the participants of the MTron layout we have here. This is, I think, the biggest the layout has ever been. We started years ago. Steve McDonough wanted to get a certain theme going, where everyone could participate. And red and black and the trans neon green are really cheap colors to come by. You can get a lot of parts in those colors. So it lent itself to everyone being able to build a lot of stuff and add it to our collaborative.
Okay, yeah, and this is a massive layout. Like you said, I've seen this at past shows, but I think this is definitely the biggest one you guys have done. It's crazy how much there is here. So if you want to start off, maybe we got this giant tower we're starting by, and then we can just move our way through.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this tower is the tallest item we have on the MTron layout. Alex Taylor made the tower, and we have a little bit of an invasion over on the corner of our layout. We got some Blacktron guys. They're just kind of visiting. We've got both kinds of rail here on the MTron layout. We've got the, not the 9-volt, but the RC type track where we have a regular train going around. And then we also have a lot of monorail where we have an MTron monorail going around too. I believe IndyLug member Kishan brought the monorail. He has a lot too, so you can see, it's not just in one section of this layout, it's around quite a bit as far as, the amount of feet of that he brought. We've got some...
That's always very cool. The monorail obviously is always a fan favorite, so it's cool to see that at shows.
Yeah, we also, the big rings there, that was built by Steve McDonough. Unfortunately, they're not working right now. I think a gear came loose, but they actually spin. So yeah, they kind of look like these portals or Stargate, something like that. We've got Blacktron 2 landing pads that we use for just a drop area for ships, stuff like that. And anywhere you look on this MTron layout, you're going to see a bunch of the little 24 facet crystals in the trans neon green color. They're basically a mining colony. That's how they kind of were branded as in the original 1989 line of MTron Sets. And so we try to continue that and say that, oh, this is a big mining colony. They're getting some crystals for their magnetic power, whatnot, So we just kind of sprinkle those around, and then at the end of the show to clean them up, we take a small shop vac and suck them up, and it works. We've only used the shop vac for the crystals, so when they get inside, they're not filthy and dusty, as if you'd used a shop vac that had been used in a real shop.
Good thinking.
Another thing that you'll notice is there's a lot of gray base plates. It took us a while. That's one of the limiting factors to expanding the display is the actual number of gray base plates that all our members collectively own. So, of course, LEGO has made, the 48 by 48 large one, but over the years, they've also started making some 32 by 32 and things like that. So we can usually put together just about any configuration with all our space stuff here. And we do have some tents set up also. Luckily, the tents that we got were available in red and black, classic MTron colors. But the reason we put these up is we want the phosphorescence to really, shine through on this layout. We got some black lights. Some of the tents have black lights underneath the canopy there, and then some of the actual creations have black lights incorporated into them. So, especially if you ever see this at Brickworld Chicago during World of Lights, it looks magnificent there because of the lights being out, and you only have the black light illuminating it. So you can also see we've got a lot of motorized things. Brian Bonahum and John Brost are really good at Technic and anything with motion. So a lot of things that you see that are moving, they built. And it's great as far as, perpetuating the idea that MTron is a mining colony. You can have all these conveyor belts, things, look like they're mining ore, processing it, stuff like that. We also have the big thing there with the MTron logo in it that was built by John Kyle, and that's got like this big driller mechanism on the other side.
And I love this machine here. It looks like kind of they're mining the balls and then they're being ground up there.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to look like. And the mechanism is similar to a great ball contraption. So since Brian and John are both good at that, it was, a very natural process for them to make this kind of mock for the display. We also have several of these spider mechs that I made. I made them all identical. So except for the front appendages, they've got, the same legs, same dome, all that, and I just kind of spread them around the layout as if, they're crawling into places that the wheeled vehicles can't go. As we go around here, you can see some more monorail stuff like that, and there's a tremendous number of MTron minifigs on this layout from one end to the other. I believe every single MTron guy that's out here is Alex Taylor's. He has an enormous collection of those, and he's always kind enough to let us use them, and we have some conga lines, things like that. MTron minifigs, they got to work. They're miners for a living, but they got to have fun too, and do some conga things and party and go crazy.
Is it difficult to pick up some of this old MTron stuff on like the aftermarket? Obviously, it's not sold anymore in stores. Is that expensive?
Well, general MTron sets, like sets that were actually made back in the day, those can be hard to come by, especially the Megacore magnetizers. Alex Taylor of Indy Lug has pretty much cornered the market as far as getting used Megacore magnetizers. It was the nicest set of the line, and appropriately is the most expensive if you want to get it aftermarket. As far as just people making their own stuff in MTron style that wasn't an actual set, it's pretty easy to get that kind of stuff because red and black are just these, colors that Lego is never going to really change, like gray or brown or something. They're always going to have red. They're always going to have black. And there's so many different parts available in those colors. As long as you have those colors, you just use your imagination and, make anything that looks spacey, and it's going to work in an MTron layout.
Perfect. Then we keep moving around the corner here.
Yeah, we've also got, if you see any of the thin yellow wire, that's Elwire. It's a battery-powered mechanism where if the lights were out, you'd be able to see a little more of it, but it can glow solid. It can do like this chasing effect, and it's very, very thin, so you can weave it in and out of your creations pretty easily.
And I just noticed here, I like this. This, I think, is an Exoforce mech, and it's kind of been turned into MTron because, once again, the red and black colors fit really well.
Exactly, yeah, that's exactly what they did. I'm not sure exactly who made that one, but there's that and some other mechs here that were originally part of a different theme that were redone in MTron colors. For instance, if you want to see something that's a classic example of a different theme being made in MTron colors, we have a Millenium Falcon that I believe Doug Davis made it, and he made it in MTron colors so that it fits with our layout. MTron Overlord Steve McDonough is very adamant about keeping MTron pure. He doesn't want, and like if you put something blue on the layout, don't expect it to stay because he will remove it. And he doesn't like just regular Star Wars sets, but this one we were able to sneak by because it's Star Wars, but it is MTron colors, so it ends up actually fitting.
Close enough. You got like the Han Solo with the MTron shirt there?
Oh, exactly, yeah. Yeah, Han, he's going to wear his MTron shirt if he's going to, be doing or piloting an MTron ship.
Fit in with the locals.
Yeah, we actually, another Star Wars part is there are little mini Death Stars that were available a few years ago, and we have those as holding tanks over there. So you try to turn them so the Death Star, the firing mechanism on one side isn't visible, but it doesn't matter. Every kid comes up, look, Death Star, Death Star. And you can see some of the black lights we have are hanging from the underside of these tents so that they really make things illuminated in the layout. And so you got, like pools of the gems, you've got all the little crystals on the backdrop, and I believe Brian Bonahum made that backdrop that adds some elevation and terrain to our display. It's almost like it's on some kind of moon. That's why we use gray as our base plates. But it's also nice to have some things in your layout that are not flat, because the entire thing being flat is just boring. So, you want some elevation there.
Got to get some height at some point.
Exactly. Here we have another larger mecha that's built in a Japanese style that is in MTron colors. So those are custom flags on there made with some stickers.
Mm-hmm. They look very good, though. It blends perfectly.
Then, of course, we've got some pieces that were originally made for a town set. They were originally made in blue for a cement mixer, but Lego made them in red, and so we used them for, MTron mining colony. Making our way around here. There's a lot of repeating things. If you see a little antenna or a certain, little thing made from the Lego dice, you might say, oh, I saw that like 10 times around the layout already. It's, some kind of MTron, beacon, things like that. So we put them around, scatter them all over the layout, and
it's a big colony. There's going to be repeats of things, a lot of stuff going on. You get a lot of mining vehicles.
Oh yeah, definitely. Another thing we have over here on the top of a tower, I believe it was a guy named Nathan Todd who donated this patch. Now this patch is like a legit Lego patch back in the day when MTron was first introduced, and he gave that to Steve McDonough, who made it into a billboard type thing here. So that's not something that we custom made like the stickers. That's an actual Lego fabric patch.
Wow, that's crazy. Do you know any more of the backstory behind that, like why Lego created that? Was it for a particular special event or something?
It probably was for a special event. Nathan Todd is really good at finding unique Lego items, so he's got a talent for that. Here on the corner, we've got something that I made. It's an homage to the modular Palace Cinema. So I wanted to have something that played movies on this double screen little SD card player I have, and I'm like, you know what? I should make it, kind of incorporate them into the walls and then rebuild the top of it in the style of the Palace Cinema, but colors of MTron. So there, I had to change a few pieces, but I kept the actual, the regular look there, so you can tell it was derived from the instructions of the Palace Cinema.
Yeah, very cool. It's a good inspiration for the set there, and I love the screens.
Thank you. Of course, anytime you see crater plates, crater plates add a little bit of breakup to the monotony of the gray base plates. So even though it's been years and years since crater plates were produced, we try to get as many as we can to give it more of a lunar feel to it.
You mentioned the dice earlier. I love the ring of dice here.
Yes, I'm actually a little disappointed that he didn't put a mini train to go around the tiny loop of track there. But yeah, the dice elements are black and red, so they're perfect for making MTron creations. Let's see, moving on here, we've got a river that I believe was built by Brian Bonahum, and he lit it from underneath, which gives it I don't know if you want to call it creepy or surreal, but people really enjoy looking at it. And of course we have to put a little, funny things in there, like a couple guys in a canoe floating down the glowing river.
The canoeing guys are great, yeah. I feel like that might be doing the number to the bottom of the boat there, whatever's in that water.
Yeah, they hopefully they made that boat out of something durable, titanium or something. But yeah, any towers we have, you can, as long as you have enough red and black pieces, you can kind of go crazy sometimes. And this tower here, I believe this is not originally how big it was. It started out much smaller. But as your collection grows, you're like, I want to make that tower bigger. I'll just buy some more red and black, and boom, you add some height to it. A lot of the mocks we have on this layout have actually changed over time, not just, adding new mocks, but people rebuild existing mocks they have to either add strength to them, or if it was something that has motion that, breaks down a lot, they'll redo the gearing so that it's more dependable, things like that.
Yeah, there's just so much you can do with it because, like you said, there's so many parts in red and black that the possibilities are pretty much limitless.
Yes, they are. We have some more creations along here by Steve and John, and I think he snuck a little bit of blue in there. Don't tell Overlord Steve, because he'll smash it.
It doesn't fit with the rest of the build.
Yeah. And some of these things here we've had built for a while. Some of them are new for this show. We've been doing MTron, I don't know exactly how many years, but it's over 5 years. So there might be a few things out here that were original creations from our first MTron layout, and a few of them that were built just recently. But generally, that's how any large collaboration works.
Back here, it looks like there's kind of an auto zone area back there with working on the vehicles.
Oh, yeah. This is the repair place. So you've got, things in various state of disassembly. MTron guys all over it, working on it, doing what they can to build new stuff and repair old stuff. It's kind of one of those things, if you're going to a show, everybody has probably experienced this if you've been to enough Lego shows. You get to there, you open up the box, and oh man, my creation did not transport well. it's in pieces. So one of the solutions is you put out what you have. You may not have time to rebuild the whole thing, but in this case, you can put it out there and make it look like it's under repair.
There's always the under repair, no matter what type of build it is, you can throw some construction minifigs on there and make it look like they're working on it.
Oh yes, definitely. Another example of one of the sets that was redesigned in MTron colors right here. I believe that was called the Galactic Peacekeeper. It was part of the Space Police 2 line, and it would have originally been in black and some green, but they've remade it in MTron colors. We've got some stuff here, kind of this is a little bit of a exception to the color rule. You've got this biodome, because these guys are going to need some oxygen eventually produced on the planet, so you've got to have some trees and things like that that'll take up the CO2 and make oxygen. And yeah, for quite a while now, we've been actually right beside Monorail. I don't know how he got this much monorail, but it's really nice to have. You don't see a monorail loop this big too often, but it's, as AFOLs who appreciate the older types of pieces, we love it, and the crowd loves it too, so it's a win-win situation. And
I like this kind of offset building in the back there as well.
Yeah, I believe John Kyle made that. It's kind of a geometric design that isn't typical, so it's got these funky angles that look really neat, I think.
Yeah, well that I think brings us to the end of the display. That was quite an incredible display. Do you know if you kind of stretch this all out in one direction? Do you know the total length by any chance?
I don't know the length in feet. We actually did have it stretched out in one direction last year. This is a U-shaped display. Last year, the same building, we had just a really long rectangle for MTron that was like 3 or 4 tables wide, and I think it was the same number of tables as this overall, but yeah, we decided to do it this way, and you got to change things up every once in a while, see if they work different and how the public likes them.
For sure. So obviously LEGO has produced a lot of different space themes over the years. What kind of draws you and maybe some of the other builders to MTron, and how'd you decide on that years ago when you first started this collaborative?
For me, it's a mix of nostalgia and liking the actual color scheme regardless of what year it came out, and the fact that I already had a bunch of red and black pieces and the trans neon green. So I know some people they want to build the older things, like redo some old classic space sets and some MTron colors, stuff like that. Some people want to rebuild the stuff they had as a kid that they still have as an adult and bring that to the display. And a lot of people, we have a lot of different style builders in Indy Lug. So some of the people, they have, no MTron collection from their childhood, but they're really good at robotics or making things that move. And so they have this motivation to, add something that's visually appealing that has movement to the layout. So it's really good to have a good mix of builders so that you have lots of different things for the crowd to look at when they're looking at the MTron display.
Yeah, well, if you keep expanding at this rate, you might be able to do just an MTron show someday. We'll see.
Well, I suppose that's a possibility. That would, wow, to fill this building, that'd be quite a lot. It's a lot of red, black, and trans neon green. But maybe a smaller building. We could do a MTron-only display. What would we even call that? This show is Brickworld INdy. MTron INdy?
There you go. You never know. I think you can come up with something, though. But this turned out awesome, and I appreciate you guys putting all the work into it over the years to build it up to where it is, and I think the public really likes it. So thanks for chatting with me about it.
Thanks for having us.